Good afternoon. Another episode of Africa Update is here again, reaching you from Trust TV in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. And this week on the program, we will be going to the DRC, where we want to get an eyewitness account on the happenings in the region. To stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Africa Update on Trust TV. I'm your host, Chiamaka Nwanfor. Just before the break, I told you that we'll be going to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where we're going to be looking at the crisis there. Just recently, we heard that the SADC has decided to withdraw itself from the Congo, and the diplomatic talks, are happening in Angola. We'll look into all those issues in the course of the program. But now, we're going to be speaking to someone who would like to remain anonymous, and he is situated in DRC. That's all I'm going to say. Who's going to give us an eyewitness account on what's happening in the region. Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Tell us what's happening. What's happening on ground over there?
There are too many things happening, but I have to be specific. For this, from Bukavu, the city of Bukavu, which is one of the richest cities in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I'm not married, I'm a researcher, I'm a multilingual person. I can speak Spanish, Portuguese, English, French, yes, and Italian. I'm a leader of different groups around the city of Bukavu. I'm also a teacher in some of the schools, and yes, that's it. Well, to the question of knowing your question that what is happening in the city of Bukavu, I may say that well, too many things happen, but specifically today we've been under the power of the rebels. There are rebels which are called the M23, coming from Rwanda. We've been under their power ever since the 14th of February up to now. Now it's we are going through 1 month being ruled by them. So they came, and there is a war which started on the North Kivu, because Bukavu is one part of the South Kivu. It started in Goma, now in Bukavu. So they took the city of Goma, now they have taken the city of Bukavu as well. So we are there. Our daily governments, our daily provincial government is left, has been in exile. Now we've been led by these new people coming from our neighbors. So we don't know. We don't know what they intend to, but today we are. Yeah, this is what happens. It's what has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So since the last 1 month they've been there, how has it been exactly for the people of Bukavu?
To be honest, it's been a tragic experience. It's been a tragic experience. Why do I say that? Because they took the city of Bukavu on Sunday, the 14th day of February. It was in the morning, after coming from Goma, after having taken hold of the city of Goma. They moved to Bukavu. That's one morning. They have made sure that everything has been in control of them. They chased the governments, and the people. People tried to, people of Bukavu tried to welcome them with cheers, because they have been called. They call themselves the liberators. They come to liberate us, and we don't know why they call themselves that. That's how it started. It started with cheers. People thought that these new army groups are coming to make things better in our city. But what is happening today is more tragic than ever, because those guys, these rebels have started killing. You can't imagine they called upon a public meeting on the in a very known place in Bukavu, which is the place is called Independence. Independence Place, or the 24 Square, where politicians always meet for talks, for conversations, and so on. They called people there. We weren't there. The majority of people went there in order to listen to them, to understand what they want to communicate to us. And then they said they want to recruit. They want to recruit new young people who can join the army, because the salary is good. They can be paying them very good. Now, in some minutes after the meeting, there was a kind of bombardment. There was I don't know if they sacrificed people. I don't know, because just after their meeting, too many people died on the spot. They launched a kind of bomb in the midst of people, at the core of the meeting place, and too many people lost their lives. That was the day.
You're saying that they called for a meeting, and they themselves threw a bomb in the midst or in the middle of that meeting, if I understand you correctly.
Yes, that's what we can say, because if it was the bomb, the bomb was coming from the other people, from the population, or from the opponent's army. That is the FARDC. That's the army of the country. If it came from those people, it could go straight to the speaker. That day of the meeting, after the end of the meeting, then they launched and that killed more than 10 people. So in terms of number, it was 17 people were hurt, and after the army group, which is into Bukavu City, they've been killing people everywhere. Well, because they told us to not be going out every time or whenever we walk. So it's 6 p.m. No, it's 6. Yes, 6 p.m. Everybody should be in there.
Do you mind going back a bit? You said you have a curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Is that correct?
Yeah, 6 p.m. Everybody should be in their home. Nobody should be out of the house, because they are also afraid. The rebels are also afraid because they released too many prisoners who were in a very big prison in the city. They released all of them when they took hold of the city. So too many prisoners have been released. Now, these prisoners are operating at night.
Were these prisoners illegally imprisoned, or they actually committed a crime and they were imprisoned? What was the reason for releasing prisoners?
No, it's a common known by everybody that whenever there is a war, in my country, every time there is war, they always release the prisoners so that they can go. I don't know why they do that. Now okay. Those people are coming to operate at night. They try to take the properties of people at night, because there is no army on the spots. All the army, the national army, went away. They ran away, and we leave ourselves with rebels and those prisoners. Now those prisoners are entering in houses and take their property, they take things, they take if you don't have anything, they kill you. And now the rebels try to hunt. They are kind of hunting those prisoners, but it's a hard job for them. It's a hard work for them because they don't know the places where they can catch them. They don't know the shortcuts those prisoners are passing in, and they don't know they don't master the city, but they are newcomers. The area is pretty new to them. You can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us from Bukavu and sharing what's happening on ground. From what you're saying, it doesn't seem to be very safe for the people of Bukavu. And I don't know, I take it that they might be regretting the chairs they chaired a month ago when the M23 rebels came into their region.
Well, in my family, we are having hard times here because all the banks are locked down. Banks have been locked down ever since these rebels came down, and the economy has been at worst. We don't know what will be the future of the city. Children are not going to school because they are afraid to be taken because these rebels at the beginning and take everybody at school, teachers and pupils, they go with them. And so too many children are afraid of this, go to school. So that's the rates in the markets, the currency has been an issue. It's been a very, very big problem. Today, if you have $10, for example, if you have $10 in your mobile accounts, Airtel Money or M-Pesa, you want to withdraw something, they can't give you all the time. They give you, for example, 6 or 7, and they keep 3. All this because money is not in movement. Money is not in.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your insight from Bukavu. Thank you. Wow, that's quite a story, quite an experience there for the people of Bukavu. The M23 rebels just got into their town a month ago, 14th of February, and now it seems like their whole life has been overturned. When we come back from this short break, we're talking with somebody who believes in the African dream, the African region, a Pan-Africanist. To stay with us. Thank you for joining us and staying with us on Africa Update here on Trust TV. Before the break, we had Chris from Bukavu in DRC, talking to us about the experience they've had since the M23 rebels came into the region. It was quite a story. With me in the studio to look into this matter and how Pan-Africanism has helped the Congo crisis is Aliyu Suleiman. He's been here before, sometime a while back, and talked to us about Pan-Africanism. But today we're holding it down to its effect in the Congo crisis. Aliyu Suleiman is here in the studio. He is a Pan-Africanist, and he is a protege of Professor Patrice Lumumba. We all know him, and he's promised that one day he will get him to come on the program with us.
By God willing.
Okay, we're going to hold into that word. It's not a smiling situation, what's happening in DR Congo. It's a very sad thing to see that people's lives can just be upturned in a minute, just in a minute. But tell me, what has Pan-Africanism done in Congo?
Thank you very much, Chiamaka. The story of Congo was very saddening to any keen reader of African history. We know that Congo was a country that suffered, ranging from the Belgian colonial powers to the Americans' shenanigan way of exploiting Congo's resources and other Europeans and even Chinese now. When you look at the history of Congo after her independence in 1961, I think barely 9 months after the independence of that great country, the first prime minister of that country, Patrice Emery Lumumba, was assassinated because the West and their acolyte accused him of being communist. But the reality is that that great man, Patrice Emery Lumumba, refused to allow the resources of Congo to be taken out of Congo and enrich other civilizations and not the Congolese.
Is he related to the same Patrice Lumumba?
No, they are not related. The only relationship they have there is Africans.
Okay.
But this one is from Congo and another one from Kenya.
Okay. But they're still East Africa, so maybe you don't know.
Yes. You don't. No. I had Professor once, though. There was a time they asked him, he said they are not related. They don't have any kind of relationship. The only relationship they have is that they are Africans.
Okay.
And they share the same ideology of Pan-Africanism.
And same names, apparently.
Yes, same name as well.
All right.
So I think that's what I would say in a nutshell.
Okay. So you've taken us back a bit to the history with Congo being a very crisis-prone area. The Belgians first, then the Americans and the Europeans, and now we're talking about the Chinese. But currently now we see that the South African Development Community, SADC, has decided to withdraw from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. How does this factor into the Pan-African story that we want to share about a unified Africa?
Thank you very much. You know, the issue of Congo is very complex. The reason I said it's very complex, Congo is a member of 2 regional organizations in Africa. Congo was a member of SADC, Southern African Development Community, and Congo was also a member of East African Community. And there was a move by East African Community, I think recently by the Kenyan President, William Ruto, called the Kenyan process, to ensure that they mediate the crisis in Congo, and I believe they were not successful. And recently we have seen how SADC sent troops to fought alongside the Congolese military to fight the M23 rebels. And the crisis in Eastern DR Congo is that it's not only M23. Some people were not saying as loudly as they should. It's not only M23 rebellions are in Congo. There was estimation that there are more than 120 armed rebels group in DR Congo, not only M23.
So how come is M23 very...
Thank you. The reason M23 rebels were famous in this regard is because the Congolese administrations are accusing Rwandese governments of being sponsoring the M23 rebellions. And the reality is that, let me take you a little back to history. Another name of Congo, if you remember, Africa had its first, there was something that happened in 1884 to 1885 in Berlin, which was known as the Berlin Conference, which saw the partitions of Africa into many countries. And you remember Congo was part and parcel of the colony of Belgium. And remember, another name of that Berlin Conference was Congo Conference. We are not saying as loudly as we should. Another name of Berlin Conference was Congo Conference, because that Berlin Conference or Congo Conference was anchored and at the behest of the Belgium's King Leopold of Belgium at that time. He was the one that anchored that meeting in order to deal with the questions of Congo, and also at that time we all know that Congo was the richest country on earth. Congo was the richest. They have everything. In fact, when the colonial powers of Belgium went to that country, they asked, what did God not put in Congo? Everything is in Congo except nothing. That is Congo. You find oil, you find diamond, you find uranium. They have everything in Congo in abundance. So the issue continues like that. Congo as the richest country on the continent of Africa. There are many forces within the continent and outside the continent that are trying to exploit the resources in Congo. And that is why I said the first prime minister of that great country, Patrice Emery Lumumba, after he has discovered that this country were being neutralized by some certain powers, then he said no. The resources of this country must enrich the people of this country. And during the independence of that country, he said, the resources of, so he said the independence of Congo will be written by the Congolese, and the resources of the Congolese will reach the Congolese. And I think that is the reason he was taken away. That is why we call him a hero without grave, because after they killed him, they dissolved his body into acid. That is Patrice Emery.
Quite a very sad one there.
So that's it in a nutshell, and I believe there are many initiatives to ensure that this conflict has been resolved, ranging from the SADC, as you made mention, because you have seen how they have sent troops recently, and now they are withdrawing the troops because the Congo's president, Felix Tshisekedi, made mention that he cannot negotiate with the M23 because he regarded them as terrorists. And now I've seen the move by the president of Angola, Joe Lourenço, trying to hold a mediation between the M23 rebellions and the administration in Congo.
Okay, now let's go back a bit. Let's understand the angst. And when I mean the angst, I mean the issue. What's the problem with M23? Why are they coming into another person's country and trying to overrun them, overtake them?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much with this question. M23 was regarded as a rebels, but this is what they were saying in return. What M23 are saying is that the Congolese administrations disregarded the M23 as part and parcels of Congo citizens. They don't regard the M23 as Congo citizens. And this M23 we are talking about, they are the Tutsi tribe. They are from Tutsi extraction, M23. So the Congo administrations are saying, you are not Congolese, you are Rwandese.
Okay.
And I told you in 1884 to 1885, there was arbitrarily how Africa was parceled out.
Yes.
That is why you can find a Tutsi from Rwanda, and at the center you find a Tutsi from Congo.
Yes.
That's how they find themselves. Yes. And there was a time, I think in 1970, there was interview, I think former president of Tanzania was being interviewed about the issue of Congo. He said, the Banyamulange are peoples whom we called M23 now. They were referred as Banyamulange, and they are also Tutsis. He said they are Congolese and not Rwandese. We were just victims of arbitrariness, which was seen Africa being parceled in 1884 to 1885 in Germany. That's why these people continue to call themselves Congolese. They are not Rwandese. And now the Congolese administration are saying that you are not part of us. You are not Rwanda, you are not Congolese. Therefore, we are not going to enjoy the dividend of governance in this country. You should rather go back to your own country, which is Rwanda. And Rwanda administration are saying they are not Rwandese, and we are not the ones sponsoring them as well.
Okay, so what can be done? Because I had a guest sometime, I think a few weeks back, and we talked about it, and I said, what can be done? Can't they just carve out a place from Congo, a place from Rwanda, just take this place in between and form your own government and do your own thing? Why do these two countries have to keep fighting and tossing humans like a ping ball back and forth?
As I told you, the Congolese administration believe that the Paul Kagame's administrations in Rwanda were terrorizing the city of Goma and other people, and Kivu and Katanga and other places that the M23 occupied in eastern Congo. They were accusing him because they said he is using the M23 to exploit the resources in Congo so that he can go and build his country, Rwanda. That is why you can see the kind of social amenities in Rwanda surpassed that in Congo, despite the fact that Congo was very rich.
Are you agreeing with what the Congolese people are saying?
No, I'm not agreeing. I am not agreeing with what they said, because we have had the history of Congo, of Rwanda, and we also know the history of how Paul Kagame took over power and how crusader he was in changing the narrative after the 1993 genocide in Congo. Rwanda, sorry.
Okay, I think we're going to have you come back again or some other time for us to continue this conversation, but time is telling us we have to end this right here. Thank you so much, Aliyu Suleiman, for joining us on Africa Updates again today with your insights as always. It's always a pleasure to have you. That's the much we have for you today on Africa Update. I hope you've heard the story, the quite sad experience of the people of Bukavu over in Democratic Republic of the Congo, what's happening there since the M23 rebels came in. Same time, same place next week. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Chiamaka Nwanfor. Bye for now.